Howdy folks, we are in the garage from the previous episode, and we're going to customize this truck properly. I'm not going to try to blow smoke up anybody's ass. This is a remake. I made a whole video and then I was so disgusted with the way it turned out because I did not have the truck set up properly. I ran through some customization, and in the process of doing that, I eliminated a couple of things that I need on this vehicle. Got all the way up top and then realized the axle lift wasn't there. So we're going to do it right this time. I can't go back and restart that job. It was the wrong turn job because it's done. But I can do the video right. This is the largest engine. You see there's others if you want them. I use the special off-road. And I did have the active suspension on it. I think I'm going to go for the jacked hauling suspension this time. And I'm definitely going to change the wheels. I had these on it. Not using those anymore. I have to find the ones that I want. These. I believe these are going to do a better job. And it might make the truck a little skinnier. It does. One end of where we have to go is one that is way too skinny for this. The other end, it just might fit with skinnier wheels. So we'll see. If my voice sounds different, I got a new headset and microphone. I'm getting a lot of delay. Special off-road, I already said that. We said that, we did with that. Okay. Winches. You have a choice of winches. I'm going extreme offline. Diff lock is no choice. Wedge cap, chrome, matte, painted. If I had chrome exhaust, I would go for painted snorkel. Well, it's an air intake filter. But given that I have painted exhaust, maybe I'll change that around. I'll go for painted snorkel and chrome exhaust. All-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive is a pretty simple choice. You're going to want all-wheel drive. And here's where I ended up losing my axle lift. Because the first thing on this list is the 3-door, so it changes the truck. Um, there it is. God, for the life of me, I couldn't find the rotator. Okay, now even though I put the rotator back on it, the axle lift, you see, is still not there. Now it is. And you've got all these other options, which I'm not really going to go through. You can put a rotator's toolbox on it, or a sleeper's toolbox, but that deletes that. It's got the sleeper on it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm getting stuck up on this one. See, you can have the sleeper or not. If you take the sleeper off, then you can have like a cargo slot or another toolbox or a sleeper's toolbox. The rotator's toolbox takes the sleeper off. Okay, we're done with that. Rear bumper, there's nothing to show you on this particular vehicle. Rooftop, I went for marker lamps, painted horns, and painted visor. Hoods, I went for painted trim. Or actually it looks like I don't have any choice of trim on it. Chrome, matte, painted, and you see the headlight trim changes colors also. Front bumper, here's a big thing. There's the brush guard, adds 1250 mass. The first time I did this, I just had the chrome bumper. And then there's the matte bumper, patented bumper, and the winch bumper adds 2,500 pounds added mass. We're going with that one. Miscellaneous, fuel tanks and mirror housings. Because it's a rotator, you can put that sticker on it. Exhaust, chrome, full matte or painted in the muzzle selections. I will tell you that the muzzle exhausts put out so much black smoke that you can't see where you're going. The other choices are exhaust, matte, and painted in that style. I'm going with chrome in that style. Rims, you don't really have a choice. Color, that's the stock default color. I went with that. You can go through interior bubbles on your own. And Now we're out of here with see, it looks like it's sagging in the ass, even with the heavier bumper on front. With a different truck than we had before. I don't know if I should show you driving this one up there, or if I should show you driving the one that wasn't set up correctly. I don't know, I'll figure that out later. That was the main problem with the first video, is that the truck was not set up correctly. And I'd never used this thing before. So, you know, I had never tried out those wheels for climbing a steep, rocky hillside. So I had no idea they'd be so bad at it. You know, it's just because I don't practice ahead of time. I take a truck and I go use it. Even though it has just the air filter canisters on there, rather than a true snorkel, it can still take some pretty deep water. Well, wasn't expecting it to get caught up on one small rock. You may get screwed and have to back out, but give it a try. But I remember there were 2 tight spots going up here, and that's only the first one. I might be able to get this with low-range diff lock. Come on. Yeah, baby. Go for it. That's what I like to see, but I think there's another even tighter spot right around this corner. We're going to have to take this corner really wide. It's not that it's really a tight spot, it's just you got to take the corner really wide and try not to tip the truck over. Low plus with diff lock. There's a giant rock underneath me. Son of a bitch. Get the hell out of there. This is where the truck should be. There it is. Was that a spot? Is that a spot I can put it all the way down to the ground without catching on rocks? Want it flat on the ground to the point, you see how it's starting to lift the ass end of the truck? That's what you want it to do. When you got it all the way down like that, escape. There's different ways you can do it. It depends how the truck is sitting. If the truck was sitting, if we were sitting on a flat asphalt parking lot, I would simply put the axle lift down so it's just above the ground and then drive backward up to the vehicle. Because of the terrain and where the Lodestar is sitting, this is the method I'm using. And that big rock is gonna screw me over. it's not going to come straight in. I'd rather it were in front of the axles, but the truck just kept rolling down the hill. Maybe I can get it in front of the axles, being that the crane is lifting it. Right there seems to be the middle ground. Well, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to lift the front of the truck a little bit more. So you got to keep going in and out of functions. Different modes. Does this thing have a top socket? It does have a top socket. That's amazing. It has a top socket. Now I can roll this back and do it right. Oh yes, there we go. Let's bring it over this way a little as I bring it back in. All right. Awesome. I'm going to release it there. I'm going to fold up the crane. Get the crane straight over the back. And about something like that. Then exit out of the crane. Going to use rotators, lift axle, whatever. I'm working at this so long I'm just all tongue-tied. Unfortunately, I can't extend the boom any further, I don't think. No. Although for some reason it's bringing the truck with me. I think it's a glitch with the rocks. What I'm going to have to do is get it past that rock and then take it down and then use the winch cable . Ah, you bastard, you rolled over. Well, that's where it's just going to have to stay. Alright, let's release winch. V. Be changing functions again. Lift arm controls. Want to pivot up. The truck is all, we don't really need to mess with extend or retract because you can see that the cross arm, the T-arm, is already right up behind the wheel. All we want to do is bring it up. And then put a winch line on it. Unfortunately, this truck doesn't have a center winch line. Now it looks like it is hooked to the center. So you see how we have it now. You see how that the hooks that are made to go under the axle and pick it up by the axle, it's impossible to make it work that way because the crossbar is too long to go between the axles. So I don't know if this is going to work or if I should use the hook off the crane, but I'm afraid the hook off the crane would raise it up and then it would come off. So for better or worse, we got it. There's no way to, there's no function to pack it or tie it down, which you would normally do on a real rig. You would chain it down. The only thing I can do is make sure the winch cable's tight. See, it's going to slop back and forth. It'll probably fall off. It'll probably tip over. Because it's not tied down. I mean, the lift axle function on this has some serious flaws. There's nothing to hold it on there. There's nothing to hold it on. Howdy folks, I'm going to give this axle lift one more chance in the yard here, right at the garage, on the other tow truck. I guess I don't know when to give up or something. It's just off the ground. Now I need to escape out of that and go to the fork controls. Bring one side in about halfway. Bring the other side in about halfway. So they go inside the tires. I don't know if maybe I should try and grab that bumper instead of getting behind it. But I don't have the reach without driving in a little closer. I'm not fully extended, I don't believe. Okay. Every time I get to that point, it kills the audio. Well, let's try going from there. Think that's a little bugged? Alright, let's do some pivot. Oh, when it touched the ground, it killed the audio. Well, it's hitting the bumper, but it's not far enough back under. Try extending. And then coming up. It's only lifting on one side, it would appear. Let's put it back down. And try to extend. Oh, that's all the extension we got. And back up without causing a catastrophe. Whenever it touches the ground, it screws up. Huh. So maybe we'll have to come up a little higher. Whoops. V. Okay, so escape out of that. Let's go to 5. Bring this in further. Oh, I didn't mean that one. That one's okay. This one. Bring it in so it clears. So it's closer to the tow hook. And then escape that and use 4. And we'll pivot up just a tiny bit. Somewhere right in there, and then we'll escape that. Close functions. Try to back up a hair. Okay, now we're bumping into both tires hard. I tried hitting the brake and it didn't do anything. Okay, I'm on the brake there. Lost audio for a second. Now let's go into functions. 4. Oh, can't hit 4 until I do axle lift. There's so many different operations to go in and out of. That's right behind the bumper. Exactly behind the bumper. If you could go onto the bumper and it's going to hold, it should hold behind the bumper too. I'd actually like to see if it would go, if it would attach to the bumper itself. I could bring it in just a hair and then try pivoting up again. Oh. Hitting the buttons backwards. See, that should be right on the bumper, but it just lifts it up without going down into the notches. See what it's doing? It's just, it's like it's not allowed to grab it by the bumper. Whole bunch of sparks. Managed to do that. Yeah, you can't pick it up by the bumper. It just doesn't allow you to. I mean, you can pick it up, but it's not meant to work that way. So we'll try going between the bumper and the tire like we had it before. Like that. See, that settled right down on there. If it wasn't for that huge bumper, it probably wouldn't do it. Well, actually, I had that truck over there when it had the plain chrome bumper on it. I had that truck picked up that way. But when I tried to pull forward, it pulled right out without moving the truck. It won't disengage the parking brake on the truck and allow it to come with you unless you hook up a winch cable. So what we have to do now is briefly close out of those functions, go into crane. And the guy driver's sitting there sleeping, yeah. That's what I feel like doing. Raise up the crane so it won't smash into the hood or anything. And then we can exit the crane and we can put on a winch cable and then we can exit functions, or actually not actually, what we need to do is stay in functions but use Rotator's axle lift and then go to 4, because now that there's a winch cable on it, the tow truck behind us is allowed to roll backwards, forward and back freely. The tow cable allows it to do that. So now we can bring this in. A little at a time. I know our tow rope is getting looser, but oh, it slipped up behind the bumper a little more. But that's all the further we need to go. Well, we could go further. We'd have to tighten up the winch cable, I think. No, it's okay. Okay, that's all the way in. Alright. Now we can finalize getting it up and down. That should be enough. Exit out of this for the last time. We could go into crane and bring the boom down. Waste of time. Just hit F and tighten the tow cable. And then we should be able to try and drive away. Let's see. There she goes. On flat ground, you can work. It doesn't work properly. Like backing up here, it's pushing over the top of the tire. And when I pull ahead, it'll pull back out. It slops back and forth. You see the bar in there? It's not even close to the bumper anymore. It's not even close to the bumper anymore. It's way the fuck back here over the top of the axle. If I went around the other side, it's probably over the top of the tire. Sure it is. Sure as shit, see? The only reason it fits inside that wheel is because it's on top of this wheel. Otherwise, it's too wide to go between the wheels. That is the whole problem. That crossbar is too wide to go between the wheels. And this hook right here, that's up alongside the frame rail, is supposed to be under the axle. See, so you could make it work for about 30 seconds. And then it's going to start washing back and forth. It's going to slide forward, it's going to slide to the back. It's going to slide forward, it's going to slide to the back. Pretty soon, it's going to be clear up against the back of the rotator. So that's my problem with it. Otherwise, it's a fantastic boom truck. If you want to use it for a boom truck, it's a fantastic boom truck. But the axle lift does not work. It didn't work on top of the mountain over there with the Lodestar, and it didn't work on an asphalt parking lot. You saw me try picking it up by the bumper, and the forks wouldn't go up over the bumper. It just starts making a bunch of sparks. It looks like someone's arc welding. So it's buggy, it's glitchy, and not the truck. The truck is a beautiful machine. The Rotator is a beautiful boom. It works great. It's very smooth. It's very quick. The axle lift is a waste of time. But, alright. Well, that's it for this little epilogue to the axle lift story. Thanks for watching.